freedom from curses. As we begin to dive into or delve into some truth this morning, I want us to consider first what a curse is. It is important to have a background story, a background information, a background knowledge of what we are dealing with this morning. What's a curse? By study, I've come to discover that a curse is a spoken word that is intended to invoke harm, misfortune, or supernatural punishment on a person or an object or even a place. I say again, a curse is a spoken word that is intended to invoke harm, misfortune, or supernatural punishment on a person, an object, or a place. If you read, ladies and gentlemen, the book of Genesis 3, and you read from verse 14 to verse 17, you see a scenario of a family that was doing well, a family that was exceptional. The husband's name was Adam and the wife's name was Eve. The Lord had been faithful to them. The Lord had done great things in their life. In fact, they were the first, the epitome of how a home has to be. They were, the first formula that every home needs to imbibe. Am I talking to somebody here? And ladies and gentlemen, as I began to study my Bible, I discovered by the inspiration of the Almighty that even as these people were doing well, only one cause turned a family that was so enviable to become a family that became so pitiable. Only one cause, a family that everything was at their beck and call, a family that everything was productive for, a family that excelled in strength, a family that God breathed upon and they became living beings, a family that God will step out of heaven to have fellowship with, to have intercourse fellowship with, a family that God so desired, God so loved, and God chose to be part and parcel of. A curse brought them out of that limelight to a total darkness. Any man that carries a curse carries an impaired destiny. Any man that carries a curse is wallowing around, is laboring and achieving nothing. A curse has the capacity and the potency to put a hold on a man's destiny. A once thriving family, a once successful family, all of a sudden became a shadow of themselves. Why? Because of a curse. Adam, as it were, was part of God's creative capacity. Adam was, when after God had created him, remember, Adam gave name to all animals. So he was part and parcel of what God created, and he was also part of those who created things. But one curse came on the head of the family of Adam, and everything went haywire. One curse can mutilate a family, can frustrate a destiny, can terminate a life. One curse. Am I talking to somebody here? It even boiled over, and because of a curse, a family that once was united and loved each other, they began to kill themselves. They began, in fact, killing a blood member of his family became a priority to him. Cain actually was a tool in the hand of the enemy. Why? Because he was fulfilling a curse. A curse had come after him. He had to take something and kill his beloved. Sir, curses can push people to do what they are not created to do. Curses can push people. When you see polygamy riddling a family, you look around, there is a curse somewhere. When you see wickedness being propelled in a family, wizardry to the highest order, a curse is at work. When you see poverty ravaging a family, you see a sequence of poverty. You see it streamlined from the first son to the last son. It has cut away this source from what God planned and purposed for them. When you see a certain level of rejection that is functional in the daughters of your mother's children, you will understand that there is a curse somewhere. And that's why this service we came by the power of the Holy Ghost. I love what the Bible says in Isaiah chapter 10 from verse 27. It shall come to pass on that day that the body shall be taken off thy shoulders and the yoke shall be off thy neck. He says the yoke shall be destroyed because of the anointing. Every curse that was pronounced on you and it has taken a toll on your destiny, if you rise and shout this amen, may the God of my father bring an end to that curse. I said the consequence of the curse shall come to an end. If the curse is about to expire, if it came in the days of your forefathers, God has given you the effort and the anointing. He has given you the capacity to put an end to the curse. I hold your hand in the spirit realm and I make an agreement prophecy in the name that is above every other name. The curse is broken by fire. The curse is broken by fire. The curse is broken by fire. Lift your hands and shout.